Thursday! Alright, so I just reorganized my bookshelf. I put all my Stephen King books up here, and my Stephen King pops up there as well. And then on the second shelf, some of my favorite books. And I switched to Twilight books down here. I did like a color coding down here. I put the red ones on this space and the yellow ones up here, the blue ones down there, and the white ones down there. Began reading Pride and Prejudice this morning. I'm barely on chapter 4, page 20, and I was listening to the audiobook because I was cleaning. This is for a genre that I want to read more of, and this is a classic, and I haven't read a classic in such a long time, so it's kind of hard to actually get into the book, but hopefully I'm able to concentrate and actually understand what is going on. 11 o'clock a.m. right now. I am gonna go take a shower and then I'm going to Target because I need some stuff, but I'm going to be listening to Pride and Prejudice, the audiobook. It's kind of hard to follow up while listening to it because it's very hard for me to listen to an audiobook while I'm doing something. 1 second I'm listening to the audiobook and then the next I'm just like thinking of what I'm gonna eat for lunch. So it's kind of hard, but I'm going to try my best to pay attention to the audiobook.
Women, with an air of decided fashion. His brother-in-law, Mr. Hurst, merely looked the gentleman. His fine, tall person, handsome features, noble mien, and the report which was generosity, and above being pleased, and not all his large estates in Derbyshire, could then say
Okay, so I just took a shower and I got ready. It is now 12:47 p.m. and you know what? It was a really bad idea listening to the audiobook of Pride and Prejudice because I did not understand a single thing of what was being read. So I am going to go back to chapter 4. I left off on chapter 5 from the audiobook, but I'm going back to chapter 4 to actually understand what is going on. By the way, please ignore my eyebrows. I haven't been able to do them in such a long time because my eyebrow place is not open and will not be open in a long time probably. But I'm gonna try to listen to chapter 4 again. I am going to Target and then I have to go flower shopping again because my flowers are dead. If Pride and Prejudice does not work out, I'm just gonna start reading The Wit's Son Daughters, and this is for the challenge of reading a book with the. So I'll see you guys. Alright, let's go flower shopping. Woo! hot. Okay, it's now time to read again. It is currently 6:14 p.m. My class just ended and I took a quiz and I probably failed because it was hard, really hard. So I'm gonna read now for the rest of the day. I'm on page 30. I haven't done a lot of progress because I did go to the store, and then when I came back I was eating. Started the Chloe Tings exercises like maybe a month ago, and then I stopped. I completely failed again. For some reason, for me, I have no motivation to exercise. I hate exercising, and when I do exercise I do it for 2 weeks and then I completely stop. I did go to Chick-fil-A today. I did eat McDonald's yesterday. I ate chicken nuggets. It's the last week of my class, so I'm just gonna like focus more on trying to pass this class. I do have an A, by the way.
Bingley likes your sister undoubtedly, but he may never do more than like her if she does not help him on.
I just received my packet. Okay, so I got a shirt. And it's the one and only. I think I say one and only a lot. But I got a Halsey shirt. It's so freaking pretty. But wait for it. Wait for it. It says Halsey with a butterfly. So nice. Okay, and then the back has a huge butterfly. Oh my gosh. And then it says butterfly eyes are made of 6,000 lenses and can see ultraviolet light. Fine process by which a caterpillar magically transforms into a butterfly, also known as metamorphosis, is completed in 10 to 5 days depending on the species. I love it. I love Halsey, especially her new album. It's so amazing. You guys need to listen to it if you haven't. You guys, I have not read anything. I had a huge migraine and I just took medicine right now, but I'm really hoping that the migraine goes away. I just feel like I am on a huge reading slump. For some reason, I can't make any progress with Pride and Prejudice. I don't know if it's boring or is it me that I'm on a slump? I don't know. The major themes are pretty interesting. I know that Elizabeth's the main character and Darcy is the main character as well. I totally forgot that I had to read Pride and Prejudice outside my house. I was planning to read it in my garden somewhere where it's fresh. But I guess I'm gonna do this one for 2 challenges. And this one's the With Sun Daughters challenge of reading a book with which this one's the With Sun Daughters. I'm also going to be doing it for the challenge of reading a book outside your home. But right now it is 8:31 p.m. I was going to work on my dotted journal, but I feel like it's a little bit too late already for July's month. So I will update you guys later on my readings. I am on the Reading Rush website, and I put the pages that I read Monday, which was 70 pages read. And yeah, so far no badges. Currently 9 o'clock a.m. I got to page 71 of Pride and Prejudice. So far, I am completely failing at the reading rush. Okay, so good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 21st. It's the second day of the reading rush, and I haven't done any reading. But it's fine. I did 70 pages yesterday, which is not bad. I'm beginning to think that I'm not a fan of classics, but don't get me wrong, in some parts it's very interesting. Well, classics, I haven't read classics in such a long time and have to go clean really fast. I really like how this book has really short chapters, and it's just makes me feel like I'm making progress when reading the book, so I guess that's one of the pros about it. So yeah, I'm gonna go clean really fast while listening to the audiobook of Pride and Prejudice.
Such a promising thing for her younger daughters, as Jane's marrying so greatly must throw them a time of life to be able to consign her single daughters to the care of their agreement for tithes as may be beneficial to himself and not offensive to his patron.
How TF am I supposed to be reading when there's a bunch of reading rush vlogs? Made my iced coffee. I'm gonna do my makeup really fast while listening to Pride and Prejudice. It's making sense. Now I understand why the book is called Pride and Prejudice.
Chapter 19 of Pride and Prejudice. Wisest to get it over as soon and as quietly as possible, she sat down again and tried to conceal by incessant employment the feelings which were divided between distress and diversion. Dear Miss Elizabeth, that your modesty so far from doing you any disservice,
oh, that's right,
rather adds to your other perfections. You would have been less marrying first, that I think it a right thing for every clergyman in easy circumstances like myself. Remains to be told why my views were directed towards Longbourn instead of my own neighbourhood, where I can assure you there are many amiable. Myself the honour of speaking to you to your own are circumstances highly in my favour, and you should that Mr. Collins has made.
Okay, this is getting interesting.
From this day you must be a stranger to one of your parents. Your mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins, and I will never see you again if you do. Elizabeth could not but smile.
Okay, so I just finished doing my makeup and doing my hair because it's been a long time that I haven't done my hair. Okay, so I am on chapter 22 of Pride and Prejudice. So if you have not heard of Pride and Prejudice, it is written in the 19th century. The major theme that plays in this book is marriage and pride. Women were not able to have their own money, so they had to depend on a man. So that's why it was very important for them to get married in the 19th century. So Mr. Bingley is attracted to Jane, who is Elizabeth's sister. I'm still trying to really understand who is each character because the style of writing is super different. Obviously it's classics. Mr. Bingley's sister, Caroline, invited Jane to dinner at their house. So she goes, and then she gets sick, so she has to stay there for a while until she gets better. And Elizabeth goes to visit her, and that's where she sees Mr. Darcy. And Mr. Darcy is the character who is described as being very prideful, and Mr. Darcy is beginning to become attracted to Elizabeth. Miss Bingley, who is Mr. Bingley's sister, which is Caroline, she becomes jealous, and she becomes to hate Elizabeth. Oh yeah, they meet the army officer George, what's his last name? George Wickham, and he begins to tell them that he is connected to the Darcy family. He begins to tell them that Mr. Darcy deprived him of an occupation, which was promised by Mr. Darcy, his late father. And that's why I guess they don't have a good relationship and they're not friendly with each other. That's when Elizabeth's dislike for Mr. Darcy begins to develop. And then they have a ball. There's a lot of balls here. Obviously it's in the 19th century. And Mr. Darcy asks Elizabeth to dance with him, and she, even though she strongly dislikes him, she agrees to dance with him. And then there's another character, Mr. Collins. I think he is cousins with Elizabeth. He proposes to Elizabeth. Elizabeth refuses to marry him. Her mother is super angry, and she tells her, if you don't marry Mr. Collins, I will never speak to you again. But then again, we have her father who tells her, if you marry this guy, I will never talk to you again. So I guess she's in a complicated kind of like situation, but at the same time it's her decision. She does not want to marry Mr. Collins. And Mr. Collins proposes to Elizabeth's best friend Charlotte. That's basically where I'm at right now. I'm still trying to figure out everything and all the characters. It's pretty difficult because again the style of writing is completely different. I haven't read a classic in such a long time, so it started pretty boring to me, but then it started picking up. The theme of the story is being portrayed a lot more, which is marriage. This is something I can't relate to because we're already in the 20th century, and marriage is not important to me. I do not want to get married. It is kind of sad that women had to go through these types of situations, that they had to depend on a man to be financially stable, and if they did not marry, they weren't able to have any money. So that's where I'm at right now. I am going to, what time is it? It is 1:08. I have like an hour to begin to start my session, start working. So I am thinking about working on my reading journal or fixing my flowers. Oh, I remember, I actually put up a little agenda for today. I'm going to take an Instagram picture. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm able to finish Pride and Prejudice today. So I am on page 122. Okay, so I'm gonna take it right here. The picture that I'm gonna be taking is Pride and Prejudice.